Okay, let's dive right in. Today, we are opening up a professional playbook that's designed to help you get a real handle on one of the most critical parts of any business, vendor management. We're going to walk through the PramaLogic Vendor Management Toolkit and see exactly how it brings some much-needed strategy and control to your whole vendor ecosystem. At its core, this entire toolkit is built on one simple, powerful promise: clarity for complex decisions. I mean, think about it. In a world of tangled supply chains and high-stakes partnerships, having a clear, structured approach isn't just nice to have. It's absolutely essential. So how does it actually deliver that clarity? Well, it's through a set of 7 professional, fully integrated templates. And I want to stress that this isn't just a random collection of documents. It's a cohesive system, really, designed to guide you through every single stage of a vendor's life cycle. And here's what really makes this stand out: how accessible it is. These aren't locked-down PDFs or some tool hidden behind a paywall in a sales call. Nope. They are 100% free. They come in an editable Word format so you can customize them right away, and you don't even have to sign up for anything. It's a genuinely practical resource you can literally put to work today. So here's our plan. We'll start by looking at how this playbook turns complexity into clarity. Then we'll get into the tools for forging the right partnerships. From there, we'll shift to driving performance and making sure you're prepared for anything. And finally, we'll zoom out to the leadership view, bringing it all together as your complete vendor playbook. All right, let's get started. The first step, really, is moving from that chaos and complexity that so often defines vendor relationships to a place of actual clarity and control. That is exactly what this structured approach provides. Now, you might be wondering, where do these tools come from? Well, they have some serious credibility. These aren't just arbitrary templates. They are the official companion resources to the book Modern Vendor Management by Dr. Joginder Singh. Each template ties directly back to concepts from the book's 20 chapters, so you know you're starting with a proven, expert-backed foundation. Okay, so with that foundation of clarity in place, we can start talking about execution. You know, a successful vendor relationship starts way before any contract gets signed. This next set of tools is all about forging the right partnerships from day one through really rigorous selection and structured onboarding. First up, we have the vendor risk assessment. And believe me, this is so much more than a simple checklist. It's a really comprehensive due diligence framework. It makes you dig into a potential partner's financial health, their security posture, and their ethical standards, key ESG criteria, all before you even think about signing on the dotted line. And this is where it gets really powerful. This is where the assessment turns data into real action. It's all about the thresholds. See that? A score below 2.5 on financial health automatically triggers an escalation to the chief procurement officer. A low security score, that demands remediation. There's just no ambiguity. The tool gives you clear, non-negotiable decision points. Next up, the Contract Negotiation Worksheet. Look, this tool is all about one thing: preparation. It forces your team to stop the reactive haggling and instead develop a real, proactive strategy. You define your objectives and your walkaway points before you ever even sit down at the table. The worksheet really makes you think strategically across these 4 key areas. It's not just about what price you want. It's about defining your BATNA, your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. It's about gathering intel on the vendor's own pressures. And crucially, aligning internally on your absolute red lines. This is how you negotiate like a pro. Okay, contract signed. Now the real work starts, right? The vendor onboarding communication plan is what ensures those critical first 90 days are a total success. It's built on a really simple but powerful idea. Great onboarding starts the second the contract is signed, not on go-live day. The process here is super structured to make sure nothing falls through the cracks. You've got welcome messages on day 0, a formal kickoff in week 1, and then structured reviews at day 30 and day 90. This plan just removes all the ambiguity. It makes sure every single stakeholder is on the same page and no detail gets missed during that really critical transition. So you've picked the right partner and you've onboarded them properly. Great. But obviously, the work doesn't stop there. Now we have to shift into managing the active relationship, making sure they deliver on their promises and that you're prepared for anything that comes your way. This is the vendor scorecard framework, and its entire purpose is to take all the emotion and subjectivity out of your performance conversations. By tracking KPIs across 6 different dimensions, it creates a solid foundation for objective, data-driven quarterly reviews with your most important suppliers. Just look at the balance in these weightings. Sure, service delivery is critical, that's why it's at 30%, but the scorecard also measures strategic value, things like risk and innovation. And that is so important because it forces you to have a conversation about the vendor's total value to your business, not just how they're doing day to day. Now, this next tool is one every professional needs, but honestly, very few people have it, the Vendor Exit Readiness Assessment. And let me be clear, this isn't about planning to fail, it's about ensuring business continuity. For your most critical vendors, you just have to know you can transition away smoothly if you ever need to. And here we go again. The tool provides unmistakable clarity. The assessment score isn't just some number that sits in a file. It is tied directly to a required management action. A weak score? You've got 30 days to create a remediation plan. A critical score? That triggers an immediate executive escalation. It just removes all the guesswork and enforces absolute accountability. So these tools give you amazing control at the individual relationship level. But how do you zoom out and manage the entire function strategically? Well, this final set of tools is designed specifically for leadership and that big picture oversight. You know, for any new leader, those first 90 days are absolutely make or break. This action plan gives you the structure to succeed. And notice the discipline here. The first 30 days are purely for listening and understanding. No acting. Then comes the planning, and only then do you start execution. It's a methodical approach that builds credibility and ensures your changes are driven by evidence, not just assumptions. But how do you even know where to focus your strategy? That's where the maturity self-assessment comes in. I mean, look at the stark contrast on this slide. From a level 1 reactive function where contracts are basically filed and forgotten, all the way to a level 5 optimized function that's using data and predictive analytics. This tool gives you a clear baseline so you know exactly where you are today and a roadmap for where you need to go. So let's bring this all together. As we've seen, this isn't just a handful of disconnected templates. What this really is a complete integrated system, a professional playbook for the entire vendor lifecycle. From that initial risk assessment and negotiation, through onboarding and performance scorecards, all the way to exit readiness and strategic leadership tools, these 7 templates really do work together to build and maintain a high-performance vendor ecosystem. And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. When you really look at your own organization's critical partnerships, is your vendor ecosystem built on a professional process, or is it still just running on chance?